Welcome to RealTuners Radio, episode 99. Tonight we're doing live Q&A. Our hosts, John Mealy from Little John's Motorsports Solutions, Bill Fowler from Big Hat Racing and Random Legal Services, Scott Evans of Helix Tuning, also our engineer, Mike Perduto of Synergy Tuning Systems, and me, Scott Clark, Outlaw Tuner on the Run. So sit back, take a sip of your favorite beverage, warm your nitrous bottles, and let's get this show on the road. Welcome to episode 99 of RealTuners Radio.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Is this thing on?
Right with the crappy microphones. Tonight's another one of those technology sucks evenings. Put a carburetor on the damn thing.
Hit it with a hammer.
Stupid computers, son of the bitches.
Starter motor, tap it with a hammer.
Right? Hey, maybe that'll work. So, we're live? Yes, we are. I see everything's coming through. All right, cool.
Are we live on Facebook? I haven't even...
Yeah, we're live on YouTube. I see that. People are finally talking. I'm telling them, finally live. Sorry about that. If you were looking for a place to chat, we're on YouTube. I posted a link in my Facebook page there right at the top. Somebody want to check the Facebook stream? Tell me that they can hear us okay.
It seems like it's working.
I don't even see it.
A bunch of people talking on it.
It says live video has ended.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there.
It just switched over to last week's feed.
Really?
Yes.
Let's see if we can work on that. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I work on that one. I think that's a restream thing. Or should I start a new one?
I think we start a new one. I think it's something with trying to get it going and jacked up the stream. So we'll start a new one. We'll let the people on Mixler hang out because I don't have to do anything new to make that happen. I'll just mute everything and we'll work on making a new one pop up for Facebook and YouTube.
Got it.
I think YouTube is flying.
YouTube's working, but it started 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Actually, I'm seeing people saying there's nothing on this end, quote unquote. Yeah, the Facebook feed that started 12 minutes ago is only 16 seconds long.
Let me try to figure out what's happening with the other one. If you go back to the main RealTuners page and refresh, you can see it. But somebody says it sounds like we're underwater, so I got to figure out what the deal is.
It's going to be one of those nights.
We've had that one before.
Been a few times.
Does it sound okay going out to Mixler? Can anybody tell us?
That's the one I don't have up. Sorry.
Hold on. No.
And anybody? Any comments on Mixler telling us?
Mixler is bad.
Copy. I'll figure it out. That's what happens when you don't have time to prepare.
Yeah, my fault entirely. Sorry. For those who can hear us burbling and muddling. Alright, so I'm going to get a new live video. Book. Please tap into the stream. Oh, shit. It's going to want to go live in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
That's fine. We can restart it. I'm just working on trying to get it clean, and I can use Mixler as a way to hear it, so I'll figure it out.
I don't envy you guys screwing with all this stuff.
No, it's tough, man. It's tough to get all the three streams on at the same time. Normally, we're about 94, 95% reliable on that, though, and considering I pay for it. It's not super cheap services, but it's, 30 or 40 bucks a month, something like that. Okay. Perduto, you dick.
I do.
Fucking posting that picture.
I mean, what am I going to say?
Hey, testing 1, 2, just checking to see if it's any better on Mixler. Negative. Two, 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 1, 2. All right, we're just going to make some chatting happen while we're waiting for the Facebook feed to fix. We've basically started a new Facebook feed. Just it has to be scheduled, and we have to wait for it. It's kind of a painful thing. Everything else should be gone. You guys should be hearing me, and probably start hearing everybody else as well.
Hello, everybody.
Try this again. Hello, guys.
Sorry to the people on Facebook who can't hear us right now. Sorry for all the weird things. Normally we troubleshoot all this stuff long before, but we all kind of ran in a little late tonight and paying the piper for it.
Definitely Clark's fault.
Blame me. It's easier.
More fun when we do it that way, too.
Well, when we blame it in person.
No, we just blame Mike. It's not more fun when we just blame Mike.
Oh, this is like Bonneville when the car wouldn't start on the fucking start line. At least there's no National Geographic drones flying over my head. I'm goddamn thing. Reaching my business, and I'm like, get. I think I probably cursed at one of them.
Reach in and rub it on the driver's leg to get to the throttle pedal.
Well, pretty much, dude. That's exactly what I did. Dude, I mean, you could see that on the video, right?
I saw it on
it was horrible.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I'm like, all right, man, just trust me on this. We can do this together. I mean, in his defense, he's so strapped in and he's got earbuds, he can't hear the motor.
Yeah, I know. That's what you were saying. I was like,
I'm talking about putting an audio feed in of the motor for him or something, or a tone, a pitch or something.
Tie it to the tack.
Oh, yeah.
We
ended up being the fastest the whole year. That was pretty cool. Pretty crazy. Plus, the weather was shitty.
Yeah, talk to BMW or Ford. They've got that technology, so you can drive a V6 and they pipe in V8 noises.
I was thinking just like a tone or a pitch or a single thing or something, but whatever.
Yeah, or just a recording of a guy going vroom, vroom.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got to match when the engine's running is the point, so he knows if he needs to throttle it or what he's got to do, but, we figured it out. I just turned the idle up to 4,000 RPM.
That'll do it.
It'll stay running then.
Well, there's always that way to skin a cat.
Didn't that turn out to be the Airbox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Airbox was making huge vacuum just as soon as you'd bring the RPMs up off idle. Even at idle, without anything forcing air into the Airbox, it was drawing a vacuum up above the throttles. That's bad juju. And I thought about it now, and I'm thinking, an offset table based on that map sensor up above the throttle blades would have helped.
Yeah, but literally, I mean, dude, you had 0 time with the engine running in the car. I mean, that's not necessarily something you could have caught until either A, warming the engine up in the pits, or B, putting it in the starting line. Finding out that the damn airbox is drawing a vacuum on top of the throttle blades.
Yeah, that whole technology is so fascinating, with the idea of designing the airbox and the inlet so that it pressurizes around a certain mile an hour, so that it creates the least amount of frontal area and drag. It's what an astounding combination of technological factors go into making that kind of success.
You know what would fix it?
Turbo?
Well, turbo fixes everything. That would probably fix it as well. But
yeah, you know what the record is in the forced induction class out there? There's a reason we were running all motor.
Right?
Yeah,
but,
they're like 140 mile an hour faster.
I was going to say it starts with a 4.
Right. But just put an opening on the back side of that airbox with a servo, with a flapper valve and a servo. And if the car, you can tie it to speed. If it sees any forward motion whatsoever, set it to a mile an hour to where it stays open till the car's doing 40 mile an hour, then it closes.
Or if the flap went in, as soon as it developed pressure, it could force it shut.
Yeah, the pressure could, possibly do that.
Yeah.
It could be mechanical without needing an electronic servo and a table.
It could be
and a table in the ECU. But it just needs more opening.
Well, it needs more opening at lesser speeds. So the way the airplane guys handle that is they have inlet flaps that they open up bigger at lower speeds. And then once they get take off and they're climbing out, and once they get up to speed, they'll actually close down the ducts to shrink their size.
It's just like the inlet of an SR-71 with the cone, the retractable cone in the inlet. Yeah. As it got up to speed, it would close the opening up.
Mm-hmm.
But was that purely mechanical and controlled by the pilot, or was that automated in some fashion?
It's flying like a beach bonanza or something like that, or a Baird. It's literally a cable-driven deal that the pilot closes, that these little scoops open up below the intakes to open up the front, the cross-sectional area of the intake. Most planes have that.
Mike Perduto, you motherfucker. Oh, damn. Oh, shit.
So how we doing?
That's going to go on forever.
Oh, I can make.
I love Chris Smith. CAN bus or PDM is the problem.
Yes.
Supercar, the point of it is balancing consumption of the motor so it doesn't build up too much in the airbox. Because if, you want it to make pressure, but you don't want it to make too much pressure. So you've got to know what the engine can consume and pull out of it as you're trying to put it in there.
If people are on YouTube, what do they need to be looking for? Because I'm just looking at something that's episode 99 live Q&A waiting.
It's waiting for more data. Did you got to restart yours, Tom? Or Scott?
So you got to go back out to the main RealTuners page and then click on the right one. What happened was when we were trying to get the stream going and we were seeing some weird issue, it kept failing. And it would start it, but it would fail and stop it. So there's a bunch of little shorties that probably popped up that I have to go back in and delete. But there is one that is streaming live right now, and I'm watching it, and it's working great. So just go back to the main RealTuners page on YouTube there, and it'll be the top one.
Facebook's going to go live in about 12 seconds.
For real? Okay, no one's going to see that.
Yep, Scott, I got it. I'll post something, for people that are trying to read that what they need to do.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay, only 41 minutes late.
It's my fault. Just blame me. It's way easier.
I don't think the Facebook one is connecting or happy. Bill telling people in the existing live one won't tell them in the other one that isn't live.
Basically getting nowhere.
Well, and all we can do is start talking, right?
I guess. I mean, are there people, anyone can hear us anywhere?
Yeah,
So we
the
should
people,
be live on
that
Facebook,
are
right?
listening to the current live version on YouTube can.
Got it. So you created a new live stream on YouTube then?
No, just when I hit the thing to go, that's the YouTube one connected, and we were already connected, and it stayed. It didn't go to Facebook for some reason, and the Facebook one, when I look at the restream info, just says unable to connect. So maybe it's something going on with restream and Facebook tonight.
Huh. Weird. All right, I'll log on to this one. Here we go.
Someone just said YouTube is working.
Oh, now I can't get the YouTube chat to go. We're cursed tonight. I have so it doesn't allow a chat for this one, Scott, or what's the deal there?
No, that's working just fine. I'm staring right at it.
No, I mean, I don't see a chat, though.
I have no idea why you don't see a chat. I see it all. I see people talking in the YouTube one.
All right, cool.
Yep,
Yes.
I do too.
YouTube works. All right, cool. Oh, wow. Do I even need reread the intro or something? If we're pretty laid back tonight. Sorry, everybody. This is Scott Clark. I'm going to take the blame because I got to my hotel 10 minutes before the show was supposed to start and screwed everything up. Made it really difficult for Evans. My apologies, Mr. Evans. Usually we get on a half hour earlier and we do some testing, but didn't get a test hit tonight. We do a bye, so we can go another round.
I posted on Facebook just telling people to go to YouTube.
Is Facebook not working again?
Yeah, Facebook isn't working. It's something screwy going on with Facebook and the restream key. So when I look at restream, it says that it's unable to connect to Facebook. So it's got to be something screwy going on Facebook tonight with it.
I'm giving everybody the new link on YouTube here. Wait, that's the old link. Can someone, fuck. I mean, I don't know. What I get on YouTube is I get one that you created that's not tied to anything. Hold on.
Anthony Ferguson posted that it sounds good on YouTube on the Facebook chat on the RealTuners
Gotcha.
page.
The very top one on RealTuners.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's 14 seconds long.
No, see, that's not the one. But we are live. We've got live on YouTube now, but it's not the one that we said was the RealTuners Radio site. It's just called RealTuners Radio.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I've got up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's running the usual.
No, you're right. It's 15 seconds long.
Pictures and
Scott, I don't know what one you're talking about, but I've got no active YouTube that's working right now. There's two 14
I put the link in our Facebook chat, in our host chat, and that one's working. I'm staring right at it, watching it stream, watching people talk.
Here we go. All right.
Talking about it right now.
I am as well.
I posted a link on the whatever the meeting chat is.
Okay.
Well, put it out there in public, man. It doesn't really do us any good in that.
I posted on your post just before you posted.
Yeah, I just
Gotcha.
had to get to that point. I had to get it somewhere where I could get to it.
Nice. Okay. Well, now that we suck at life after 45 minutes, what'd you guys do this week?
I posted it on Facebook as well.
You posted what you did this week on Facebook?
Yes, I did.
I was waiting for you to post the YouTube link in the YouTube video.
Thank you.
That would be funny.
I appreciate your confidence.
Well, Brandon, have you seen what we're running this podcast on tonight?
Uh,
Holly.
I'm
I'm getting too rid of this bitch.
Holly Sniper.
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean, can we just throw those things in the trash?
Oh, a Commander 950. Bill going old school. Bill, was your hair still brown when you had one of those?
Sorta.
Why don't we go back to the Excel DFI at that point?
Yes.
Yes, some classic Excel DFI right there.
So, God, living out of a suitcase. For the love of God, was driving all day. Well, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about DXP.
The new DXP street class?
Yeah, what exactly is going on there? So he's trying to make a cheaper class for people?
He's doing like a spec nitrous class. Nitrous only. I don't understand I really don't understand the outlawing of fuel injection.
Yeah.
Or the outlawing of coil on plug, but it is what it is.
He's taking control away, take coil and plug away. You can only have so much timing control before you run into phasing issues.
Well, true, but when you've only got a cheater plate to spray with, I don't necessarily know that anybody's going to be trying to do anything.
Any power management anyway?
With enough power. I mean, dude, you can probably rock that thing with a small progressive and not worry about doing much with power management with timing on that thing.
Yeah, when you can only spray a 200 shot, there ain't much you can do.
Right.
Ain't much you need to do.
I don't. I mean, you take a distributor and a grid, and you can still do individual cylinder timing, so that's not a real big deal. I mean, it's not going to be too bad there, but the rest of the rules, I can see it. I think the class is a little heavy, and it's going to be hard on head gaskets, and there's going to be a bunch of plugs nipped. But hey, opinion is opinion. Everybody's got one.
When you say heavy, John, do you mean a minimum weight heavy? Because I haven't read these rules. So
yeah, they start out minimum weight on the class is 2950, and depending upon cylinder head, weight can go up to 3150. Being a nitrous only class, that's kind of chunky, but I understand that they're trying to not let it get out of control, but they've put the class on the 3453 Mickey Thompson tire. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting.
Restrict the line size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've got a spec plate that Tech is going to own multiple, like they said, they could buy 10 or 12 of these plates, and they could randomly swap your plate out when you're in the class after qualifying, after runs. And if they come to you and say, here, give me your plate, you have to swap plates. Dash 4 feed line pinned at 150. There's no rules on solenoids. There's no rules on progressors. So you're limited to that 15200 cheater plate in the class. So
they want like a mid 9 second class.
Yeah, well, it's an eighth mile, so it's an eighth mile. So who knows what that's class. Actually? Yeah, I think it's going to go mid to. I think it's going to be starting out 530 to 550 class.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a couple of guys busting off 40s or 50s. I was thinking too. It caught my attention really hard when the rules came out, and I already have an engine program started for the class. So we're going to see what we can do. I've got a number in mind, the power that I have to make on nuts to be a front runner with those guys at 3,000 pounds. So we'll see what happens. Oh, nuts. He means naturally aspirated.
Yeah. Because, everybody's basically got the same amount of nitrous they can put in. So if anybody's going to be ahead of anybody, it's how much power the motor makes.
Nitrous? Huh? Is he going to cold nitrous allowed? Did I miss that part?
The way I read the rules, yes, cold nitrous is not legal. It says no other agents but nitrous could be utilized in the system. So,
yeah, but I mean, can I ice down all my shit? Like the cold nitrous guys do? Or?
You can't. There's rules about bottle temperature. There's rules about a minimum bottle temperature.
Oh my God! For real? I'm gonna have to read
for real. For real, there's rules that the bottle can be no colder at any given point in time. Tech can spot check you, and the bottle can't be any colder than, I think, 59 degrees or 65 degrees or something like that.
5 degrees.
So there's no bottle freezing, single 10-pound bottle, limited.
There's a lot of open lines in those rules, though.
Yeah, and we won't discuss those. But there's a lot of restrictions in the class. I mean, you're limited to a 4150 cast main body carburetor with a 175 throttle blade, 4150 opening intake manifold. The rules are on like cylinder heads are fairly wide open. They've got, rules for everything from 15-degree cathedrals up to canted valve Chevrolet SB2 stuff. So.
Did you see the modification he made to the rules 2 hours ago?
No, I did not. What was the modification he made to the rules 2 hours ago?
A line through the sentence that says all nitrous jets must be as supplied, unmodified from the manufacturer, and must be concentric circle. No other shapes such as ovals, diamonds, etc. permitted is crossed out.
Why would you cross? Well,
I don't know, but it's crossed out.
So, well, that's fine, because when you put a fucking 200 nitrous jet in the damn system anyway, and it's not like it's going to be doing anything.
Interesting.
Perduto, you and Alicia need to put together a little cheap combo for that class.
Her car could run it as it sits right now.
That's seriously what I was thinking. If anybody knows Alicia Keith, she's pretty much a real deal tuner, but carry on. Yeah, I was thinking of that right away.
If that car wasn't such a no prep car, it would literally be a radial tire swap and go out there and have some fun. But and that's why I say I'll tell you right now, and I can't mention what their car runs, but as these rules are written right now, someone's going to go 20s first weekend out with the car.
For real? Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I'm interested. I mean, that's a combo that's just a few guys are going to do that if any.
Well, I mean, here's damn it, Scott Clark. You did not put that picture in the feed.
I didn't do that. That's Evans.
Evans, damn it, you. I mean, the reality of it is you guys are going to be knocking on 4 digits naturally aspirated, to be a front runner. So,
sure.
That class is going to be won or lost with one part of the car, and it's the torque converter.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. And so how much equivalent shot of nitrous do you think you'd be able to fit through those rules? A couple hundred horse?
I'm reading now to see how long that -4 line has to be. That's the question.
There's no minimum length written in the rules. There's a maximum length, but there's no minimum length.
Because if I could run a -6 and maybe only run 3 or 4 inches at -4 right before the solenoid, you're going to flow some nitrous through that plate.
Don't give all the damn ideas away, Mike.
Bro, that's nitrous tuning 101. There ain't no one out there that didn't read that already.
Well, I know that, but still. I don't understand why there's a rule about maximum length of feed line. Anybody that knows anything about nitrous knows that you want the feed line as short as possible.
Especially when you're size limited.
Right. Especially when you're jet limited. Let's mount the bottle under the engine and have like a 36-inch feed line from the fender.
Oh, isn't that basically misdirection for the people that are having to pay for a clue?
Could be. I don't know. But it is what it is.
I mean, our live feed is so jacked up tonight, all 4 people listening, go get them.
Hey, we got like 12 on Mixler, man. Jeez.
Yes. You watch, though. It's still, we'll have 6 people listening, but if I don't have this thing up on the podcast sites by midnight, I'm going to have 1,400 Australians yelling at me.
Hey, are you Yeah, I'm showing 53 on YouTube right now. So hey, we're big time in it.
Thanks, everyone. That's cool. They'll follow us.
Do they
nice.
run restricted rules classes like that in Australia and other places? I'm just out of curiosity.
I have no idea. We just have a ton of listeners, and I know that when it gets up on the podcast side is like right when they're getting off work. So in most of their time, or in their most popular time zones. So I try to help those guys out. They like to listen. I mean, when I wake up in the morning, there will be 1,500, 2,500 listens of the podcast, not the live videos.
John, IRCCBG on YouTube pointed out, and he is correct. The rules are written. It has to be a -4 line from bottle to solenoid.
Oh, yes. It's been 48 hours since I read the rules. So
can we find a way to mount the bottle directly to the solenoid, directly to everything? Like, can we hard mount it? I mean, technically, if it's a -4 going in, isn't that still a -4 from bottle to solenoid?
Yes, sir.
We're going to put the bottle mount on the firewall so that the top of the bottle nut, the valve, is going to be sticking out the top of the dash, and like you put the bottle nut for the line is going to be sticking through the firewall.
Just a little stubby.
So it's going to be like 8 inches of feed line to the solenoid.
No. I'm talking like -8 out of the bottle to a -4 adapter directly hard mounted to the solenoid directly, like, a little structure to hold it, but why not?
Hey, why not?
Are these guys going to want to progress anything? They're probably not. They're just going to drop the hammer right out of the hole, right?
There might be a couple of tenths of a second of progression in it. I don't know. It just kind of depends on the chassis. Yeah.
Totally depends on the chassis.
Most of them will be able to manage it with timing, I think.
Yeah. And you can do a 25-degree range. So if you know what you're doing on distributor phasing, I've never seen a distributor or a mag that'll do less than 25.
Yeah, especially if it's a big cap small block forward.
Yeah. Big cap, 40 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got a big cap small block forward, you can, you've got plenty of room without getting out of phase.
But you better have that pointer right over that spark tower wherever you think that peak power is going to be made.
Oh, I know.
You got to know. Yeah, it's a fun tuning, man. Let's take you back to like 1979. But yeah, sounds fun to me.
What were you going to say, Mike?
The power grid only gives you 20 degrees per stage. And if I remember correctly, I don't remember how much more I can put with launch retard over the top of that, but I'm going to hit a wall there.
Yeah. I don't even know how much is in the launch retard on a grid. It's probably 15 or 20.
It'll give you 30 total or 20 per stage.
Okay.
Launch retard, I can do anything I want, but there's I believe 30 total is all I'm allowed to take out before it stops.
Well, that's more than enough to get it out 5-10 feet.
So for those of us who aren't quite as familiar with the rules, we talked about the minimum weight. We've talked about the nitrous feed line size. Is it variable weight based on size of the engine? Is there an upper limit, maximum displacement?
Maximum cubic inch in the rules is 440, and there's the soft limit is 440 inches, and then they hit you with if you're up to 472, you have to add 50 pounds or something like that. So I call it, they don't have a hard limit. I think the hard limit's 472, and then you get 50 pounds for 440 to 472 on cubic inch.
Any guesses, any predictions on who the engine builder might be that might take that? I got some thoughts.
I fucking hope it's me and Mike Lowe.
Oh man, you're playing in BES territory.
Well, I everybody hopes they can do it, but it's the usual suspects. I mean, that's something that Uncle Tony is.
Oh yeah.
That's 110% his playhouse, and
right, or Nagel, Brad Nagel, maybe he's building something. Well, yeah. So
it'll be all fun and games till Ronnie Rhodes built a car for it, and
Yep. Very true. Are the payouts worth it to attract guys like the Rhodes brothers?
I don't even know if the payouts have been set for it yet, but it is what it is. It interests me from a perspective of doing something different, and I think I've got a program
So you're working with Mike. Are you working with Gavin too on that? What are you doing for head?
Yeah, Gavin's doing the cylinder heads, working on the cylinder heads, and he's actually already got the first port developed and put on the flow bench today, and everything's looking good so far. We'll know more later, but I talked to Mike about building a motor, and I've got somebody who's got a car, and he's got a car is ready for a motor from the torque converter to the back bumper, ready to go. It's just ready for a motor to sit down in it and go. Nitrous system's already plumbed and wired and the whole 9 yards, but
will it be there in a week and a half?
No, it's not going to be there in a week and a half. But it might take me a month or two to get something done. But me and Mike talked, and Mike's done some big inch, high horsepower, naturally aspirated stuff. Even though he's known for turbo builds like Derek Kelly's car and other guys in the forced inductions world, but I've got no problem putting my faith in Mike to screw us something together that could make what I think that motor would have to make on nuts to be a front runner. I hope we might.
Being a relative term, when is the first race that will run under these rules?
Next February.
Okay.
Lights out 11 or whatever. So we'll see. I think it's going to be. The rule set's kind of cool. It. I don't know. It kind of dumbed the nitrous side of it down enough to interest me. So that I want to kind of flex my brain power a little bit to see what I can do about making some naturally aspirated horsepower for once.
You need to get with me on the carburetor on that. Trust me.
Oh, I know. I done looked, and I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up 30 thousandths on the blade. So I know exactly who to call for the carburetor. I'm just wondering about intake. That's my biggest thing right now.
You guys ever heard Tony Bischoff's thoughts on specialty carburetors?
Dude, say that one more time.
Tony Bischoff's thoughts on specialty carburetors. He's pretty interesting, man. A lot of his combos, he'll run them with right out of the box carbs, man. Very little move.
When you can spray huge amounts of nitrous, there's that guy, Wizards of NOS or whatever his name is. There's guys experimenting with even shutting the throttle blades when the nitrous comes on.
Sure.
But in this application where we're going to be so limited on nitrous flow, the carburetor is, I think, going to play a huge deal because there's still going to be a massive quantity of air needed to remove this thing.
Right.
And yes, LS engines have to convert to distributor.
Yes.
They cannot. LS engines cannot run coal on plug. Yep. So.
Well, if the numbers you guys are talking are correct, then 80% of the power is going to be the NA side of this deal, right?
Absolutely.
92%.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, you need a pretty killer small block for this.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, we're north of 4 figures and a 440 cubic inch motor. Yeah.
Well, it all depends on which cylinder head you choose. Some of the guys are going to be able to do that, but they're going to be running it to heavier weight. The kicker here is to finding the balance between how much power you can make and how much you have to weigh. And because of the tire that they put you on, that's the big kicker.
How much do I got to weigh if I come in there with like a 365 cubic inch small block?
You get no weight breaks for nothing. There's no weight breaks for a smaller motor.
Look out then.
Because it's 440 inches and let it fly.
The tire is the 2910 wide, right? Isn't that tire?
No, it's that super sport. Yeah. The 3453.
I believe that's a DOT tire too.
It is.
Yes, that is the true street car drag radial.
It was the tire they tried to use in Ultra like a year ago.
Yes.
You said 440?
440 inches is the what I call the soft limit.
I know what I would build.
We're going LS, so.
There's no Buick Olds Pontiac, if that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, no Buick Olds Pontiac.
Thinking Chrysler.
Yeah, I was going to say, Get rid of those Pontiac old Pro Stock heads or whatever they're.
Right.
That crowd. Yeah.
Isn't it going to be SC1 headed Fords versus whatever the LS head du jour is? Really?
I don't know. We'll see.
He ain't talking.
Well, I mean,
Kevlar. Yeah, you're right. You're right with that one too.
yeah.
Oh,
Sean-
Pebbles going to be one to watch, man. Yep.
Yeah, if he's in there, if there's anybody that knows how to run a car on limited nitrous flow,
Oh, yeah.
John and that crew. Of course, that whole bunch knows what in the hell they're doing, and I'm going to be the little fish in that pond if the motor comes to fruition and we follow through with it and build it. But it'll be fun. But I think I can make it. I think I can make enough power to qualify. Hopefully.
So was that SGMP for Armageddon or whatever it was in February?
Lights out.
Yeah, lights out.
Yeah.
Lights out.
Do a live show.
No, the problem is their internet bandwidth goes to crap. If you want to do a live stream from there for real, then you got to do it like a satellite stream.
Yeah, you've got to have your own source for that place, because when everybody gets on property, it's like Beach Bend at LS Fest. Everybody on one tower, and you ain't got nothing.
We should get a sponsor for a microwave link or something like that.
Truth. I thought about it. It's actually not that horribly expensive. I mean, you can do it's delayed, but you can even do like a regular satellite uplink. Like an RV has, like you can get an RV and you can lease those for the weekend, a couple $100.
So if anybody wants to think about sponsoring us for
We will do it live.
Lights Out 11,
Yep.
we are accepting sponsorship for the satellite truck or a satellite uplink, and we'll be at SGMP doing a live show from the race.
Yep, I'd be all over that.
I think that would rule the earth. We got to do that.
Yes, I would do it. We did one from Drag Week one time live from Doug Cook's shop. And that was a nice feed. That worked out pretty fun. That was kind of cool because we had to entertain a live group. Some of us were all together, but we had to entertain a live crowd, which we managed to do, as well as the crowd on the stream, which that was a fun podcast. I would love to do a live stream from the Dutch race again.
That's what I mean. I'm not really kidding when I say this, and I think we need to talk to some folks. I have some old friends down in that part of the world that we might be able to work on that uplink. So
cool. Maybe we'll do it. I'd like to. Doesn't he have one coming up here in a couple of weeks?
Who?
Duck race coming up?
Yeah, the No Mercy race.
Next weekend.
Gotcha.
I might change my mind about, we do the live feed on that. I'd have to come down, I guess.
You'd have to. I've been so Bonneville out lately that I'm totally not keeping up on the drag racing stuff.
That race, though, that race gets my anxiety up. There's so many people in such a small area.
Yeah.
Like, that is just
like that. I mean, for some reason, just the energy there is cool. I don't like going to the mall and hanging out with a big crowd, but that event, I generally have a good time because I like to go. If I'm there, I'm usually tuning a car. I've been there once when I wasn't tuning a car. No, I remember somebody broke. That's what it was. Or Barry didn't make it at the last minute or something. But I've been there one time where I wasn't tuning the car. Man, the place to be is down, not actually on the start line, but like right there by the start line in the bleachers where all the gambling's going on. Good Lord, what a good it is to watch. Oh, man.
Seeing people get their money took with 3-card money and
oh yes, I'm
ball in the cup.
Yeah. I mean, just the spectator energy. It's like being at a really good concert in the '80s or something. It's just fun to watch. But usually, if you're busy tuning or whatever, it's not as fun. But it's fun if you're winning, going rounds.
It's fun if you're in Radio versus the World and you get 18 qualifying passes.
It's fun as hell to sit there. I'd rig up a deal where we could sit there and live stream about it. Even if it's just an audio feed, but hell, we could set up a couple of cameras. That'd be fun as hell to do a feed and a live commentary on it. I'd be all over that if somebody wants to help with a satellite uplink. I got to find out what the cost. It's a couple $100 for the weekend. So.
The first round of qualifying for RVW next week is Wednesday, bro.
Wow.
They're qualifying Wednesday, qualifying Thursday, qualifying Friday.
Like I said, 18 rounds of qualifying for Radio versus the World. Ultra Street, you get 2 on Saturday night.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. Be careful coming out of the gravel on the back 40.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I was wrong, Clark. There's a 100-pound weight break for 8.2 deck Fords.
Ew.
Yeah, but Ford.
I mean, who's going
to build an 8.2 deck Ford? There's a couple of people that I know. There's a couple of people I know that would try it. The crazy Cuban down in Florida, old Victor, he would try that. He's like king of the 8.2 deck nitrous stuff.
Awkward silence.
464 kilograms per second upstreams. Time to take a drink. I'm researching the what you can get a stream for. What's this? 10 per base. Yeah, I'm sure that too.
Crown Peach and Lemonade is phenomenal, just so you guys know.
Oh, Lord. I'm just sitting here sipping on this George Stickle.
I messed up at LS Fest and didn't come get some.
I forgot to buy more beer yesterday, so I'm sipping on iced tea.
You missed out at LS Fest because you didn't come get a drink when I had the bottle there. Told you it was there, and then like the next weekend, I took it to Ozark with me, and that thing got emptied.
Anna drank it all.
You missed out on it. Anna drank it all. It's all Anna's fault.
I see it all messed up.
No, she didn't get messed up. She just took the last drink because I took my bottle of Heaven Hill, and you know when I got that bottle gifted to me, the rule was that it could only be opened with friends and shared. So that's what I did. But she got the last drink, and she kept Mike from getting to try it because he forgot to partake of it while we were at LS Fest. Stangman 68, yes, people offset the fuel and the nitrous on their controllers all the time now.
But typically he's got it backwards. They're going to want the nitrous to come in before the fuel.
Yeah.
They're not going to worry about a lean spike down low. Let it have it. Let it eat it. It ain't going to care.
They'll actually do that to get everything started before they throw the fuel at it.
Is that on Mixlr? Because my YouTube.
No, that's on YouTube. It's actually on YouTube.
Most of the people are listening there.
Yeah, my YouTube froze for some reason, but that's probably on my end.
Okay, maybe it's more like $5,000 for the weekend for a good satellite uplink.
I feel like you're about right because I remember when Motor Mania was doing the live feed there, it was expensive for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think $5,000 or $6,000 is probably going to be more like it. That might be overkill.
That sounds about right to me.
Yeah, that's to bring in a truck, though. But, got to be a middle ground on this. Because I know I've actually worked with customers that had RVs that had two-way satellite internet. And it was enough to upload a stream. I mean, it's delayed a couple of seconds, but no big deal. But it was enough to get a stream up, especially if you did audio. But I remember I tried to do that from LS versus the World last year, and it was no dice, even the audio stream, because it was getting interrupted so bad.
It just amazes me how all these tracks are like in dead areas for.
Oh yeah, well, or what happens is South Georgia, it's not so dead, but it's so many people that their infrastructure for the cell phones is meant to have like 20 people in a 10-mile radius at any given time. You know, and he's got 11,000 people on site with phones all locked in, and even if your phone isn't using bandwidth, it's still tying up resources, just being on the network.
Right.
Okay. Staying in 58. Have you ever used a two-stage nitrous controller, one stage for fuel, one stage for nitrous, and use it to delay nitrous from coming on to prevent lean spike on the hit?
We just talked about that like 25 seconds ago, Scott.
Oh, sorry. I
don't know how big of a nitrous delay he's got to be seeing AFRs that lean for a full second. I mean, we're talking the 10th or so here before the nitrous comes on, but a full second, that's
My advice is be careful you don't have the coming on and it's actually misfiring and causing that lean reading. You know,
how far away is that if you're getting it for a full second? I mean, it's usually really short.
Right.
Yeah, there's never more than a 10th delay between nitrous on and fuel on. So,
I mean, if you're spraying less than 300 here, your progressive should be no more than 3/4 tenths.
Uh-oh. This might be interesting to some people. I just got a message saying that the boost controller is getting set to 50 pounds. Derek Kelly's on the dyno tonight with Bam Bam.
Getting updates from Kelly.
Yeah.
He's on, they're on a Dynocom dyno at JP's, right? That's actually they're pretty realistic numbers on those dynos.
Yeah, it's not, we've run the math on it, and it's, the mile an hour weight versus what that thing spits out, and it's not that far off.
Hey guys, I'm getting like 14 conversations at the same time.
It's because you're listening to it on your laptop, Bill, and you didn't mute the Facebook feed. So mute the page or shut down your browser. That's what's going on there.
Saying somebody's putting 50 pounds in the controller, though, can be a little misleading because 50 pounds in the controller, is it 50 on the dome or 50 in the manifold?
Yeah, it's 50.
That's where you got to clarify.
we're going
50 on the dome might not be too much of a party.
No, but 50 in the manifold, Bam Bam likes to party. Yeah, 50 in the manifold, Bam Bam likes to party. So we're going to see what the little blue Mustang wants to do.
Goals. One day goals.
Needing a 5-bar map?
No, we got one. We're good there.
Maxing out a 5-bar map?
It gets scary when you change to a 0 to 100 PSI sensor for that.
Right? Oh, what have you got for a map? I don't have a map sensor. I've just got a 100-pound sensor in there. 100-pound pressure sensor. Old pressure sensor doubles as my map sensor. We don't care about vacuum anymore. We're just worried about positive.
So what else we got? Questions? Anyone?
There was something about timing over here. Give me just a second here.
There was also a question that was posted before we actually came on live originally about some LT1 thing that somebody here was working on. I don't know if that
old LT1 or new LT1.
I suspect it was new LT1. Well, recent LT1.
I don't know what the question is, but the answer is new OptiSpark.
Yeah, take the OptiSpark off of it.
Yeah, remove OptiSpark, crank trigger wheel, go.
Convert to LS1 computer, unplug.
Yep.
Be done. that solves every problem with an LT. Going back to Mixler, and I don't see it, but Supercar asked a question about timing. He says he's on 33 pounds, C16, 20 degrees ignition timing. What should I do with timing when changing the methanol? Read the spark plugs and find out what the spark plug tells you that the motor wants.
Hey, Perduto. I think you're making a bunch of noise there. I don't know. It's the only other thing other than Bewley.
Before you dive into that bag of Cheetos, brother.
No, I'm listening. That's not me. That was coming from someone.
My bad. I was shaking up my crystal.
Oh, my bad.
I was shaking up my Crystal Light. I'm sorry. I can't hear it with my earphones on. I can't hear that it's making noise.
We can all hear it.
Once again, blame me if you.
Sorry, Mike.
I got it.
Crystal Light.
I'm good with it. Give it to me, please.
Wait, Crystal Light?
Yeah, little drink mix packets in a water bottle. They've made the plastic for the water bottle so thin now it might as well be like a Ziploc bag with the screw cap on top of it. and you can't even hold the bottle without it crunching and snapping and crackling and flexing under the weight of your hands. So I was shaking my Crystal Light peach iced tea up in my water bottle.
It was louder than you.
I apologize. I didn't realize that because I can't hear the bottle with my headphones on. Otherwise, I would have noticed.
All right, back to the question.
Man, it just, as far as 20 degrees of timing, when you switch fuels, the thing that I'm going to tell you to do is what I tell everybody to do. Take 2 or 3 degrees out of it, baseline it, and start working the timing back in until the spark plug shows it being right. And that's the only thing I can tell you to do. I can't give you a number, nor will I give you a number to set your motor to at 33 pounds of boost without knowing air fuel. I don't know the size of the motor. You didn't tell me the size of the turbocharger. I don't have any clue how much fuel you're actually putting in that motor. So I will never give you an actual timing number and say, oh, this is what it's going to be. No. The proper procedure is for you to just pull 4 or 5 degrees out of it, put it on a dyno, make some pulls, pull some plugs, see if they're happy, see if they're not happy, and make them happy. And once you make them happy, then that's where it needs to be ran at.
Yep, start them low and bring it in slow.
And look for cad burn off the face. And when you've got the proper amount of cad burn off the face, you're reaching the limit. And then take it, put it on the track, knock some time slips out with it. And then see if the plug matches on the track what it come off the dyno with.
Stangman's asking if rear gear ratio can fix a tight torque converter.
Work around it some.
Not really.
Yeah, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to lower the rear gear and mechanically put more load on the torque converter to quote unquote try and loosen it up? Just get the converter fixed. Make the converter right.
Most converter companies restall converters cheap.
Yep.
Some of them even give you a couple free restalls as long as you send it to them on your dime.
Yeah, PTC will give you one free in the first year after you buy one.
Just don't send it to them with a guess, and don't order it with a guess. Oh, I think my motor's going to make this. Try to know ahead of time, Find what other combos they're making if you don't actually have a way to dyno it and try it. And if you do have a way to dyno it, put it on the engine dyno. You can tell them exactly, here's my curve, here's what it does. Build me a converter that'll work with this.
Spend $1,000 for the engine dyno, man. It's worth it for a day or two. Totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah, because if you miss your power output by 200 horsepower, the converter is going to be wrong.
Right.
If your guess is more than 100 off, converter is not going to be right.
There's a local converter company to me here that shall remain nameless, and the guy that runs it, when you call in with a horsepower number, he subtracts a couple numbers, let's say, depending on what you tell him, 100, 200 horse out of it for over-exaggeration.
Some of them know which dyno you've been on and already know what factor to apply.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you don't want to lie to your torque converter guy about let me say lie. You don't want to exaggerate your horsepower numbers to your torque converter guy.
Which becomes complicated if you don't have a really good relationship with the dyno you work with, so that you can feel confident that what you're getting and then giving to your torque converter guy is the real deal. Because, that is an issue for a lot of people, I think.
True. Yeah, because if you're on one of them Bob Marley dynos, then just everything's going to go to hell.
I was waiting for Bob Marley.
Were you waiting for the Bob Marley?
I was waiting for
how could I disappoint you, Mike? I had to make sure it got brought up. I can't disappoint Mike. You're my best friend. My best friend in the whole world. I can't disappoint you. Oh.
You got like 9 best friends, man. You guys are all like at a giant love festival.
Do what?
Yes, I love you. No, I love you, man. It's true.
Oh, that's another picture I want out of my head.
Every time we get together and the cars are slower than we'd hope.
We have cuddled in a smart car together.
We have. We definitely have.
Lord.
Oh my God.
Do you know a smart car can fit 6 people driving around a Les Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
four sitting on
inside or
top of it.
Yeah.
There was 2 inside, 2 in the back, 1 on top. There might have been 1 on the hood. I don't remember.
There's not a lot of hood on a smart car.
No, but no,
Is
there's
this
not.
a turbo smart car, Mike?
No, my turbo smart car caught on fire. It's sitting in my driveway waiting on me to go out there and fix it.
Nice.
The turbo smart car that wasn't a turbo smart car because the turbo was seized up and wouldn't turn when you got it.
Yes.
Yeah, that had to be scary, driving the turbo smart car with no turbo all the way from like my house when you stopped to visit to Florida. With
I'm
no
thinking I could have walked it faster.
You probably could have.
He drove it to Florida from Kentucky, man. He drove it to one of our classes down in Palm Bay, which was pretty hilarious. This dude with flip-flops, painted toenails, and a smart car. And Bewley's telling me, this is one of my best friends. Is this a damn Twilight Zone, or what have I got myself into? Sorry, carry on. First impression.
I still laugh about the night he stopped in town. Okay, so he wins this thing on a raffle, and then wins it on a raffle, and then somebody hits him up about bringing a dog home with him because they bought a dog that was from a breeder that was on the way home on his route home. Okay,
that was Ruben T, the Pro Mod guy.
Oh, Ruben T.
Yes.
Yeah, so he picks up Ruben T's dog before he gets to my house.
And
so
let me guess, it's a Mastiff or something.
No, it's like a mini, like a teacup Yorkie. Okay, Mike can hold this thing in his hand. It's hilarious. But he shows up. We go to Fazoli's for dinner. He's like, man, I need to park this thing where I can look out the window. He's like, I don't trust it, and I think if I shut it off, I'm not going to get it to start back. So we sat through dinner with the smart car sitting in the parking lot running. He's like, yeah, I need to run across the street to the Walmart. I need to grab a couple things. He's like, if you don't mind, can you come over and sit beside the car while it's running and unlocked and the dog's sitting in the front seat so I can go inside and get this stuff? It was just like, are you kidding me right now?
I had to grab a jump box because the guy, Bill Lutz, however you pronounce his name, I won it from. When I picked it up, the battery was bad, so it wouldn't start every time I shut it off. So I had to go to Walmart and get a jump box to keep with me because no one has a smart car battery in stock.
Jump box, all you need is a package of AAAs, man. Jesus, a jump box will make that thing go faster.
Put the jump box up and turn the key on, and the thing picks up 10 miles an hour.
Because it needs a car-sized alternator, so half the power goes to driving a damn alternator on those things.
That's hilarious. Oh, man. That's
But that
funny.
being said, if you can make about 130 horse out of a smart car, they're actually really fun to drive.
A buddy of mine just
So does that take 100 shot, or what's the deal?
Well, it made 62 stock, apparently. I had a little GT25 on it, making right at about 8 pounds, and it made right at 131 on it.
What did you have to do for tuning on that?
It's called a split second. It's some Australian built, what's it called? Piggyback ECM. And that's the only thing left to fix now is apparently with it being down and the wiring harness catching on fire and all the nonsense, it's no longer functioning. So as soon as the car goes into boot, the spark shuts off. I
would have to look really hard at one of those new Pro EFI boxes. That's like a $700 box that they've got. That's it's 4 spark outputs, 4 and 8 injector outputs, but you can be perfect for a small motor. It's got all kinds of CAN bus stuff. Pretty cool.
Will it drop down and run only a 3-cylinder? That's the issue.
No, I think it can do that, man. You can set the TDCs on those.
Okay.
On a Pro EFI. I'm pretty sure it can. If not, I bet you money that Jason would whip up a firmware that would, because that's one of the neatest thing about Pro EFI. It's their Woodward-based systems that can. You can crank out your own firmware in a hurry. I mean, those guys are actually doing impressive stuff with the General Motors CAN with the direct injected motors. I don't know if you follow them. They've started a YouTube channel with Pro EFI. Jason and Kurt Siebels, and it's awesome. And it's funny because every time I've ever had to call those guys for support, man, I get killer good support. I would be all over trying that ECU, because I know a lot of guys with razors and and side-by-sides and all those things are looking at those and starting to implement those. So there's a couple of them out there. Max ECU's got one that's meant for smaller engines, fewer IO, and they save a ton of money, sub $1,000 box. You're in microsport territory with much more features on some of these.
Interesting. I'll have to look at that.
But anyway.
3 cylinders. That's cute.
Cylinder Mitsubishi motor.
Oh, they're adorable. This is some sort of experiences. Rented one for 2 days in Hawaii, and there was an interstate in Hawaii. Think about that for a minute. Just on the island of Oahu. Welcome to our government at work. But anyway, on the backside, as you go to the North Shore, there's this 2-mile long downhill on that thing, and I got it up to 90 miles an hour. My wife was like, "Stop this now."
48-inch wheelbase. I'm sure that felt secure.
It was awesome.
So you know the dangers of pulling out in front of someone with one. Was it automatic?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
2.5 second shift times.
Oh, yeah. It was a treasure. I pulled out in front of a guy on one of those, bikes where they wheel people around downtown Waikiki, and
he was honking.
rear-ended by one of those. So.
you know it's bad when you are going to get rear-ended by the tricycle.
John, you have to see that. So they're DCT or SMG or whatever trans. So when it wants to shift, it shifts, and it's a legit 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds before horsepower comes back on.
Wow.
So if it goes into shifting and you pull out in front of somebody, you're just waiting on it. There's nothing you can do.
I bet you that's crappy calibration at work right there. I bet that can be improved.
I guarantee it is, but no one's willing to put time into cracking the factory CM because why? Smart car.
Yeah, but I bet you the way to do it is not to crack that ECM, but to figure out how because the transmissions are all going to be on-off solenoid or a PWM signal or two. They're not going to have expensive CAN-based electronic controlled transmissions on those.
I bet a PCS box could run it.
I was going to say PCS or job for a microsport guy, something like that.
It's not an automatic, though. It's an SMG, so there's physically a clutch and there's physically a shifter. You're just not controlling any of it.
Oh, so it's drive-by-wire backs off.
This is all Mercedes-Benz stuff in this thing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so the short answer was foot to the floor everywhere all the time and modulate the acceleration, I'm using air quotes here, with the brake pedal.
Right?
Yes.
It ain't got a turbo, but I'm going to build some boosts.
No, it had a turbo, allegedly. Because I can only imagine what the non-turbo version was like.
Real free for the good ones, yep. No, so my buddy bought Toyota made a smart car. I guess it was Scion. It's called the Scion IQ.
Yep.
And I've ridden in 100 smart cars because everybody uses them to push their cars around at the racetrack. But so I made fun of him for buying this, but then I rode in it the other day, and it was actually... That's like a real car inside. It's not like the smart car where it's you're in basically a tarted up golf cart or whatever. It's I was surprised at the Toyota one, but it's a lot more expensive. A used one, it was I don't know, in the early 2000s, and he still had to give $6,500 for it. But I'm like, what are you doing, man? Those things suck. And he's like, no, check it out. It actually, I was surprised. It's a little longer wheelbase, a little bigger, a lot heavier, much bigger motor. It's got a 1.4 liter, 1.5, something like that. But anyway. It was interesting. It's like the rich guys, the really nice smart car, and it actually moves out, but it's super scary because you drive it. It's big enough inside. You drive it 65 miles an hour, but then you realize that it's super short wheelbase. You can get it to waddle pretty quick. But chine walking like a bass boat.
At 92, it develops this odd oscillation that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm sure those things are aerodynamically well developed.
Yes.
The RealTuners will talk about the aesthetics and wonderful design of a smart car.
Hey,
I mean, the MXP they can't all be pro mods. I mean, come on now.
Hey, something has to push the pro mod,
right? Nothing stays stock. Isn't that the motto?
Yes.
So, apropos of nothing, we're going to try and run the Triple Crown this year, and you might ask, what is the Triple Crown?
No, I was going to ask, what is what?
Apropos. It's French. Anyway,
Fucking lawyers.
this has less to do with lawyers and more to do. Well, never mind. Anyway, the bottom line is there is the Midwest Drag Week Race Challenge, which has now been expanded to a 4-day event in which you turn in 2 slips per day, identical to Drag Week classes, and it's going to sell out, which is kind of cool. Beginning of June. And then
That's the one Clippinger does, right? Scott Clippinger runs that. That's the Summit sponsors that? Or
yeah, Summit sponsors
Summit
that.
one? Okay. Yeah, that one's pretty close to me this year.
Yeah, so this is year 2. Close in a relative sense, I suppose.
Well, Edgewater is only an hour and 20 minutes from me.
Oh, no shit.
One of the 3
Yeah.
tracks. Yeah.
I've never been to Edgewater, so that's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah, that's the southernmost track. So you've got, was it US 42?
Yep.
Is the first track, first day, Edgewater, and then
Indy. And then back to US 42.
Back to US 42.
So it's a loop, thank God, because they figured that out. So it's a 4-day deal. And then there's Rocky Mountain Race Week, and then there's Drag Week. So the plan is to run all 3.
Well.
So how many days are you going to reserve the U-Haul rental and trailer for?
I do not need a U-Haul rental trailer because I built a piece of shit based on a Harbor Freight.
Well, you didn't get the joke. There are probably only 3 other people listening did, but it's the... I was actually talking about the truck that you're going to have the trailer to put the car on after the valve train jerks out on the first day. But go ahead.
Wow. Now that's
harsh.
Dang, gone.
This is Bill's work on the very first drag week, and it sucked, but he had valve. He was one of the many people that showed up the first year, which was very cool. But the funniest thing ever on that first drag week, it started at Kansas City International Raceway, the now defunct, rest in peace. And it was great. Everybody went out and made their passes. A bunch of more cars showed up than I would have expected. But the first 3 or 4 miles of road leaving KCIR on the road trip part was where everybody really, like half the cars had something go wrong with them catastrophic, like in the first couple of miles, because nobody really realized exactly what that means. And it was hot. It was muggy. But and unfortunately, Bill was one of the unfortunate casualties early on. But and I don't know, how far did you actually make it, Bill? You didn't crap out right there. 30 miles. Okay. Yeah.
There was no reason on earth for my thing as mild a deal as that was at that time, other than the fact that I went with fancy internet engine builder and they didn't bother to torque the 2 little bolts that retain the camshaft on a big block Ford. And so the bolts backed out and the cam walked, and that caught the adjacent lifters, and that caused lifter failure. And, so I'm on the side of the road and the hot rod guys are taking pictures of me looking in the system one and finding it all full of ugly metal bits.
Yeah.
At which point we created a rule that says you can't tow the car forward. So I called a tow company. So we put the car on the flatbed and towed the U-Haul trailer behind it to St. Louis, where we were going to attempt to fix it in the pits. But again, this is what happens when you don't run. Well, nobody ran LSs then. But the bottom line is I could not get another set of roller lifters for a big block Ford. And I was talking to the mucks at Comp and everybody, and there was simply not a set of lifters to be had. So we couldn't rebuild the motor.
Which sucks. Have things gotten better for that, or your parts selection changed to have more availability, or you carry lots of spares now, or what have you done to mitigate?
I carry spares because
and haven't needed one of those parts since on the road, right?
No, of course not. Because everything that you have a spare for doesn't break.
Right.
Shit that you don't think is going to break. Like
I rode with Jim Neuenfeld in the Parish truck that year, and we had that. We caught that vibe early. That man, everything we bring, we're not going to need because we've been racing a lot. And so
you guys just brought an end mill.
Yeah,
on that fucking trailer.
We had a whole engine, a whole transmission bolted together, ready to drop in. I think we had a transfer case, and we had a huge bucket of bolts. And man, that truck was stone cold reliable the entire time, running bottom 10s the whole week. And one small block power header class, which was what originally there was just 4 classes. So anyway, with a 10.08 average, we won small block power header. But that was pretty funny. Now there's guys ripping off mid-sevens in that class and cruising around like it's nothing. Jeez.
Hey,
it's been
not
an
to step
interesting evolution to watch.
Not
Go
to
ahead,
step
Scott.
backwards, but I found a really fast smart car. Just picture coming up soon. This is a big block Chevy in a smart car that somebody's converted.
Oh, Lord. The ones I always see are the ones with the Hayabusa conversions.
I've seen that. I'm trying to. What transmission do you run?
They
big
use
block
the-
Chevy in a smart car.
No idea. I just know it's a big block Chevy in this thing.
Maybe
the V8 Hayabusa that the HP Academy guys posted up.
No.
I've actually tuned a couple of those of that engine. They put them in. God, I keep forgetting the name. There's a road racer.
It's the Ariel Atom motor.
Well, was you putting it in Atom? There's another car that these guys that they'd put a regular naturally aspirated Busa engine or a turbo Busa, or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 guys, whatever, got together and
Had a block made.
Busa heads on a V8 combo.
Yeah, that's the Ariel Atom guys. I can't remember the name of the company that does it, but those are the engine options that go in the Ariel Atom.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm not up to speed on the Atom. I'm familiar with the car. I've tuned a bunch of those with Ecotechs in them.
Yeah, well, you're naming the engine options for the Ariel Atom.
Okay,
And-
well, I'm just saying there was some other series race car that looked like a little like a Le Mans type car or whatever, like a prototype prototype car that had these in them. And anyway, I tuned one for that, and I tuned one for a Streamliner guy who never ended up running it. I think they ran out of budget money. But man, you talk about a wicked cool sounding engine.
Oh, 3-liter V8 with Hayabusa heads on it.
Yeah, flat plane crank too.
Yep, flat bottom crank, 3-liter with the Hayabusa heads on it. 2 of them, obviously. But yeah, it's a cool little deal. The Ariel Atom actually supercharges that motor. They put a supercharger on it, so it's a supercharged 3-liter 32 valve.
Busa engines are tough too, man. They're tough. I've tuned a bunch of turbo Busas. I mean, I've had them up to 700 wheel, and I know there's guys beyond that now. But
That's hard to think about from 1300 cc.
yeah,
Not
think
to
about
mention,
600
Going
cc's.
down the road with driver weighs 1,600 pounds or something.
Right?
And the Ariels, the Ariel Atoms, it's pretty nuts. The space frame and all that crap. And then, the bikes. I mean, just think about the bikes. You got a 450-pound bike that makes damn near 2 horsepower per pound before the rider gets on. Makes like 1.5 horsepower per pound with the rider on it.
Yeah.
Not pounds per horsepower per pound.
Right, yeah. That's half a pound per horsepower or 0.7 pounds per horsepower.
Right. Yeah, that's freaking scary.
Yeah.
Because I've been in cars that were sub 5 pounds per horsepower, and shit gets pretty crazy at 5 pounds per.
Oh yeah.
And then you start talking about having, you start talking about getting sub 1. No, thank you.
Well, that's why these people that run the big high power bikes at El Mirage and the LSR stuff, my hat's off to them, meaning men and women, because there's some women out there that are just as good as the guys in terms of records and everything else. And yeah, you get on top of something that's making that kind of power on dirt, and go 240 miles an hour, whatever the records are for those.
Yeah.
I love watching the motorcycle streamliners when the conditions are good and they're out there running. Those things are amazing.
I think it's the people running the naked bikes that scare the shit out of me. It's like, fuck, no, I don't want to do that. I feel comfortable in almost anything with 4 wheels, but to just be hanging out there in the breeze, going that kind of stuff.
Want more between your ass and the ground than some leather?
Yes.
Yes.
It's just the same way I feel about it. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I've been on bikes just riding around on the street at normal highway speeds. It's crazy enough, but to think about going 150, 160, 170 plus, whew,
Don't accidentally sit up and get caught in the wind.
Nope.
Oh, you're coming off of it. You're just coming the hell off of it. You won't stay sitting up for very long.
Didn't Shane Stubbs do like 260 something in the standing mile here recently?
At Loring?
No, well, maybe it was at Loring. I don't know where they did it, but anyway, even with a fairing. I don't know if that was, I think that was naked or with the, I don't remember. It was on a sit-on bike. It wasn't on a streamliner. Jeez.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We have to get him on here.
So as we go into the fall and make the turn into next year, we talked about this one particular class. Are there other things that you guys see that are going to be really interesting? Closing out this season, going into next season. We've seen, records in the stick classes. We've seen records for SBEs. We've seen, all these things happening with, all these, kind of specialized deals. This might be, a time to talk about, what's in the crystal ball, for.
I'm going to say, and I'm going to call it right now, Radio versus the World is going to go a 51 next weekend. I don't know what combo it'll be, but someone's going to go a 51 next weekend.
Nitrous.
You think?
Nitrous. Oh.
Well, Nitrous is right now.
Screwblower guys.
There will be a 351 posted next weekend. I just feel it.
I'm going to put the money in that.
Man, I don't know if somebody's going to go 51.
Well, they've already been what now? 56.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they haven't run that in competition now. What is it? 58 in competition?
I think so.
So it's going to be everything about, air and some combination of the air and the sort of what magic. I mean, obviously the track prep is magic anyway, but
who's got 14 inches of rear extension in their car?
Every one of those pro mods now. Well, I'm sorry, non-pro mods.
Yeah, the not a pro mod.
Yes.
But it'll be interesting. It's always interesting. I'll put $50 on the fact that Ultra Street doesn't get more than 3 qualifiers.
Ooh, I can't take that money because I know it's not.
It's bad when you can't take that bet.
All right. $50 says Ultra Street doesn't get 1/3 the qualifiers Radio versus the World gets.
So that means Radio versus the World would have to get 12.
No, third. So if you get 3, 9, 4, 12.
Oh, 3 and 9. Okay. They don't get a third.
They don't get. I say they don't get a third of whatever RVW gets.
Well, see, I'm on the same side of that bet.
I know.
So we can't bet against us. Can't bet against each other if we agree.
What can we bet on?
So how many cars are going to show up in February for the new MXP or whatever the hell it is?
The DXP Street class?
DXP Street class, yeah.
It'll be a full class.
They'll have enough. They'll have to turn people away and qualify 32 cars.
There's enough leftover Ultra Street motors sitting around. People will throw in cars just to go race.
Cool.
I know one person who's got 3 cars that could run if he had enough drivers to put them in, just sitting in the garage. They just had to put motors in them.
That's going to be the cool thing about this class. Is it's when Ultra Street started, it was a plate nitrous class, and it's going to give those guys a chance to come out and race again.
True. I was going to say now it's like mini X275 as far as the bull, like the budget.
It's mini Ultra. Yeah, well, Ultra was mini X, but
yeah,
this is like, what is it? It's like OSCA or Orska.
Yes.
One of the two back in the day had a class that was like this, but I can't remember. Might have been Mean Street before Mean Street turned into the variable index class that they run all over there. Somebody mentioned it to me last night, but I can't remember the name of it. But they called what they called it.
Anybody else? Twice. I had a good feeling today. Our YouTube subscribership is kind of growing a little bit. Normally, most people just listen on Facebook or they listen on the podcast, but we officially have the same number of subscribers as the guy who's the artist that sings the Pina Colada song. Do you like
It's the small victories in life.
Wow. We had to do a road trip today, and I had like the 80s, the rock hits or whatever, top 40 hits going channel or whatever. I don't know what I was doing, but driving And I, some reason I picked up my phone and I would to change the song because that came on. And that guy's got 1.08K subscribers. I'm like, wait, that's like 1,080, right? Well, shit, that's like 10 less than us. So I'm starting to feel like big time, man. That Pina Colada song was huge in 1983.
Is it if you like pina coladas and like dancing in the rain? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
I think it is. And
Rupert Holmes is the name of the artist. But anyway.
no shit, Rupert Mullins. I wouldn't have got that one.
Rupert Holmes, Holmes.
Okay.
Oh, whatever.
But anyway, so yeah, we're neck and neck with that guy from 1983 with a one-hit wonder.
So pina coladas and pizzeritas. Well, geez.
And I don't know who AO5C is on YouTube, but I'm with you, man. I hope Tim Slavens goes fast. That's the last true holdout to a stock wheelbase, stock-looking car in that class.
Yep.
Oh, RVW?
Yeah,
Yes.
RVW.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the last of what ODR, when it evolved from ODR into Radial versus the World and before the Pro Mods took over.
Him and Dustin's Buick, I can't think of too many more.
There's not. Everybody else has jumped ship and built Pro Mods, Alepa's Corvette, all those guys.
Yeah.
I got a chance to look at some of those cars up at Norwalk earlier this year, and it's like, holy crap. I mean, that's the closest thing to I'm going to use an outdated term here, but it's Formula Libre. The Can-Am class in the early 70s was Formula Libre, meaning a free formula, run what you run. I hope you brung enough, blah, blah, blah. And
one of the craziest road racing cars, those Can-Am cars, were amazing, but also killed a lot of people.
Yes.
That's the class that like the fan car ran in.
Yes.
What was it?
Chaparral 2.
Chaparral 2H, the 2J and the 2H.
Yep. Yeah, which also ultimately ended up with the 91730, Porsche. So
the 917 10K
out of 5 liters in 1973 or something like that.
72 is when they won the class championship. 6 out of 8 races, the 917 10K. The last one, it was the turbo car. Guesstimate at 1,300 horsepower out of 5 liters and 1,250 pound race weight. Yeah. The baddest Porsche ever built. I have a print of that hanging on my wall in my office that I stare at daily.
Yeah, so for all of us that are all about, what we're doing now, it's like, remember, people were doing some badass crap a long time ago. Sorry about the barking.
Too bad you don't have a printout of a finished Celine on your wall.
Oh, you fucking dick. You really had to go there?
Real quick, I had to.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Whatever. One day.
So I tell you, my car's got 1 day left. It'll be done one day.
Yep, done one day.
Hey, I ordered something 7 minutes ago. Can I get it next day air? Show up tomorrow morning?
Nope. You can order it next day air, but it ain't showing up tomorrow morning.
I filled out a custom cam sheet about 20 minutes ago, even though it's midnight. Can you give me an update?
Sure, yeah.
Is it done yet?
Is it done yet? This is my
Hey,
order.
I filled out a cam sheet like 3 months ago. I haven't seen shit, so I don't know.
You're so full of shit, Bill. I ain't seen nothing from you on that.
I did the whole thing. I filled out.
You got to actually hit send when you're done filling it out.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, I know you get important stuff and
something from you is important to me, but that is
John, just send him a stage 2.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
take a stage 2 in the big block Ford.
Yeah, it's 10 liters, not 5.
Send him the LS cam as a hint to get rid of the Ford.
Yeah.
Send him the LS cam and be like, here, build a motor around this.
Yeah. Evans, I'm coming after your ass. Be careful here.
A little big block on big block crime on the podcast now. Big block.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
You sent me an email and we talked about setups and stuff, but I didn't know we were ready.
And then I filled out the form and everything. But I said in my email, it said it's going to be a couple of months, which was 4 months ago. But all right, no worries.
When you're ready to spend money, that's when you just call me and I look it up and I do it.
I am ready to spend money.
Oh, then you call me and we'll do it.
Okay, deal.
9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
And use the proper shop phone number too.
Yeah.
Bill, I swear, if you don't order that or put that cam sheet in right at 4:30 and call him at 5:01, and that's why it's not done, I will not like you anymore.
I'm going to send several text messages and post to the intraweb. So, is it done yet? Is it done yet?
No, leave me alone.
All right.
Then I'm going to lie to you and tell you we can only do it on the tool steel core and it's going to be $1,700.
I was waiting for that part. Okay, good. Let's do it. If you've got a tool steel core for that motor, God love you. No one else does.
I mean, dude, I literally did a tool steel core for a V10 LS like 2 months ago. Ooh. I can if it's tool steel, they literally call down to the local shop and order a piece of bar stock that's roughed in big enough for the journals. Yep. And then they literally just like chainsaw the thing out of a piece of bar stock.
Go to whittling. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as long as they got a blueprint and a chunk of tool steel that's bigger than what it needs to be, I can get you a cam. It's going to take 10 weeks and it's going to cost somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000, but we'll make a cam.
Yay. I might have to step up the lifter size at that point then. All right. Good. All right. Anyway, we'll talk. Cool. Gentlemen, what else we got?
I think that's about it.
Careful.
That covers it for the night. We've done our hour and 17 minutes. Sorry for the delay, everybody, for all of those of you listening in tonight.
Yeah, AO5C, 60 millimeter tool steel camshafts. Depending upon engine family, yes, I have done them. LS mainly. I've done half a dozen for LS-based engines. The tool steel, I've done more tool steel this year than I probably have the previous 5 years combined.
60 millimeter?
On the LSs, they were 60 mil.
Okay.
A couple of them were 55. 3 of them were 60s.
Okay.
They've got a 60 mil 8620 core too. So that works really nice.
I don't know how to decide which one's better than which. I'm running the Isky Max, lifters. So if that means anything, because I don't know.
I mean, it's really the thing about turbo engines is it's not really, in my opinion, it's not really critical. When you go bigger like that, you go bigger so you can get a bigger barrel, and you get a bigger barrel so you can go bigger on the base circle. And you go bigger on the base circle so you can get an acceptable pressure angle between the center line of the roller and the center line of the cam based on lobe lift, right? Well, people do that when you start trying to run 500, 510, 540 lobe lift in something. Mm-hmm. I don't need to run that kind of lift.
Yeah, so that
with the turbo
that
stuff.
I think I sent in was what I consider the last gasp on the NA side. So yeah, we're all that in a bag of chips.
The only, I mean, like with the LS engines, we start out with a 55 millimeter cam to begin with. Mm-hmm. So I've got base circles that will run 800 lift and not think to 800 lift at 9,000 RPM and not tear a valve train up. It's very rare do I feel the need to go to 60 millimeter in a LS engine.
Right.
So,
that's a stage 2, right? 700 lift?
Yes, the 714-ish.
All right, good.
One more thing I do have to talk about, and I want to mention it on the podcast. I want to give a shout out to my boy Dan Wrench for finally breaking, for finally getting Old Red to act right and knocking down a 204.78 mile an hour pass at Milan, Michigan. in his Nova, and a big shout out to Scott for helping him figure out what the problem was.
No, I spent about 20 minutes with him on the
before he chokes on whatever it is he's got stuck in his throat over there.
No, I'm that's bullshit. Dan does all the hard work, man. But I got to meet Dan over that deal. He's like, all right, fuck it, I'll pay for some help or whatever. And it's like he was in a crunch. He had like one night to figure something out. He's like, I need a list of things to throw at this. And so we threw some parts at it or whatever. And he ended up finding the problems. He had plug wires and pinholes starting to show up in them. And it was interesting, little pinholes.
But so it blew spark out at some RPM?
Yeah. Yep, it was pushing the spark out only under load. And it, man, was it causing him some heartache. But you could tell it was just dropping one or two cylinders looking at his logs, which is frustrating. So it was a little breakup. It didn't quite sound right to him, but his ear was on the money. And, he told me that. We're looking at this log, but he's like, man, it sounds like it's just not quite happy when it gets up into load. You could see what was going on. It would start going a little lean on one bank. But anyway, he got it figured out. He does the hard work. I just give him shit. But
what gets me is that thing chewed through a set of plug wires in like 7 passes. Then because he went to Milan that night and went 204.78 at Milan, and then went to US 42 the next day, and the damn thing ended up blowing holes in the damn spark plug boots at 42.
Right.
And those spark plug wires were brand new and probably had less than, 7-8 hits on them. Not that many hits on them.
There weren't any
fire stuff with the Pro Mod boots.
Well, that's what he had on it.
Really?
And burned one of those up. And that set's been on the car for God knows how long.
He had backed out all of his changes from the year before, man. He was getting ready to tear everything down. It was driving him nuts. But
yeah, and then he wanted a new set from Rick, but Rick had the shop packed up moving to his new building, so he couldn't get any wires. So I don't know what he put on it in the meantime, but I'm sure he'll have another set of Rick's wires on it here shortly. And he's going to World Cup. He got invited to go to World Cup, and hopefully we can put everything together in one pass with him, and he goes a 690 at 200 plus all in one shot on one time slip.
That'd be cool.
Oh man, just the thought about having, it might not seem much to you guys. I don't know how much it affects you to think about that. This car weighs 3,430 pounds.
Oh, it's a pig.
It's a boat. It's 3,430 pounds. Leaf sprung on a 275 small block. And the damn thing goes 205 mile an hour to the quarter. Just you do the math on it, and the thing is somewhere between 2,300, depending on what calculator you use, 2,350 to 2,500 horsepower. And
that's batshit.
And and this car can be rolled out of the garage, cooler put in the front seat, driven 45 minutes to National Trail, make a hit, load the cooler back up, and drive the thing home.
He can run that number at National Trail?
No, he's been 722 at 194 at trails. Okay. Driving the car 45 minutes to trails and then home afterward. Okay. I ain't hating on heavy cars, Coleman. I love your big white pig too. Hush. But it's just amazing. I never would have dreamed that I would have guys take something that I built for them and have a street-driven car, not race-oriented. It's not a full-blown race car. It's built to spec to be safe at the speed it runs, but it can be gotten in and driven anywhere he wants to drive it, and the thing runs 205 and a quarter.
Aerodynamically, you might as well. It's like a piece of 4x8 sheet of plywood held up into the wing.
Right. Fucking 72 Nova that's probably got a CD of a Mack truck.
Right. Love that car. I told him, I was like, your whole program is killer. And I don't know who's doing his actual tuning. I was looking at his.
He does.
Dude, perfect.
Him and what's his name down? What is it? Adam Maurer at A&M or S&M.
Yeah.
He helps him. I think he does like the air and fuel. They get on the dyno. They work the air and fuel in rough. And then Dan takes the car because of the power that the thing makes. You can't put that tune up in that car and put it on a dyno.
No.
No way.
He's like, well, take a look at this log while you're at it. I'm like, dude, this tune, like the data was super clean. The power and the grounds on that car are super well sorted out.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had it to where the closed loop was never tickling more than 2% negative, never positive.
Right.
And like, even on Excel enrichments, everything nailed down. It was really nice. I was like, God, he's like, you see anything in there? And I'm like, I see some stuff I want to take some screenshots of. But
to show people how to do it right.
Right. Yeah. That was neat to work with Dan. Good dude.
Dan is like super anal. That car is, that car is clean from front bumper to rear bumper.
But I know he promised me he's going to get EGTs on that thing over the winter.
Well, that's one more. Yeah, we can hold him to it on that.
Yeah, because we'd have found that problem a lot easier. I could let him write to which wire it was, when it's number 7. We've had that on Bill's car too before. We figured out, all right, this hole is the one that's missing. Go figure out what's going on. And he goes to pull the spark plug out, and it comes out in 3 pieces. So
yeah, it's that magic 200 number. To the best of my recollection, he's besides the race car, besides the Gelato brothers in Australia with the Pro Mod, he's the first road going customer car that I've had post a time slip over 200 miles an hour. So, that engine's kind of my baby,
Cool.
And I felt like somebody whose kid just won like gold at the Olympics when he posted that time slip. But that thing's it's just ridiculous to think about to me that we've got 200 mile an hour street cars out running around now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, anyway.
That's all I got for the night. You guys got anything else?
I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, for the LS brethren amongst us, the state of Kentucky has gifted Bowling Green $250,000, and the mayor of Bowling Green has put some more funds with it. Beach Bend Road is going to be widened to 3 lanes. So yes, that was announced this week. And so
wow.
So all the people that experienced the absolute nightmare that has been LS Fest, getting in and out of LS Fest the last 2 to 3 years, the city of Bowling Green actually listened, and Beach Bend Road will be going to 3 lanes and being,
they had to buy the ditches on the side to do that from all the farms there, probably.
Yeah, that's actually impressive given all the houses that are along there and everything.
Well, Beach Bend, I don't know how far they're talking about. It's only the first phase is from Garvin Lane to the park. So Garvin Lane is like when you come past the old, when you come past the country club, where it's real tight coming right out of town there to the country club. That's still going to be that way. But what they're talking about doing is going from Garvin Lane in, it'd be 3 lane. That way they can have 1 lane coming in that way, and then the people coming in from Garvin Lane taking the other lane as well, and just having 2 feeders to get into the park.
Are they going to make it sort of reversible when people are leaving?
Yes, it'll be like 2 in, 1 out in the morning, and 2 out, 1 in the evening.
You know what the best part about this is?
What's that?
We can get the hickory and oak faster.
Oh my God! Hell yes! That's what I mean. That right there makes it worth it. Right there.
I'd tell Scott Clark to come, but I don't think he's ready for that.
I don't know if Scott Clark's heart could take it.
I don't think.
What are we talking about?
I don't think he can handle that.
Hickory and Oak, our favorite restaurant in Bowling Green.
Oh God!
Where they make the biscuits with the chocolate gravy.
I'm hoping to be able to come join you there soon.
Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
You got a move date or a time yet, Evans?
No, nothing. Not yet. Not sorted. Still working on some stuff.
Good. Cool. All right. Well, anybody else got anything, they can feel free to walk us out, man.
All right. Going once, going twice.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Ooh, next week is our 100th episode. We have a guest lined up. Should be pretty cool.
We have guests lined up.
Guests.
Multiple.
Yep.
Dude,
Nice.
badasses.
Mike and Todd from TRZ.
Nice.
Everything all about how to get down the track with your super powered shit.
Yeah.
Two legit badasses.
All right. Well, take care, buddies. See all you guys later next week for sure.
Do you want to learn how to tune
All right.
electronic fuel
See you
injection
guys.
live in person with the guys from RealTuners? We have 2-day courses in dyno shops all across the country. You can register for these at RealTuners.com and click on RealTuners Live Classes. For more information or to make a reservation, go to RealTuners.com or message us on Facebook at RealTuners LLC. And remember, don't forget to have your host spayed or neutered.